Hey, patrons. Well, a couple things before we get started. First, I want to just say thank you to Hugo, our latest patron. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this little video blog that I'm doing. What you're looking at right now is not exactly what I expected. I actually just ran a bunch of sims yesterday, and I just figured I'd throw up the results of the latest one. I did a bunch of different ones, but we are, what I think these things do for us is give us a little bit of an idea of kind of where the Packers may end up. And in this particular case, I ended up with Josh Allen, Noah Fant, and then David Edwards in the third. So interested in your comments there. Obviously, again, I did a whole bunch of these. And one thing I noticed, and that's actually the reason I ended up showing you this, because what I want to do today, I want to talk about a series, or a play, in fact, of the Titans versus the Dolphins. Matt LeFleur calling plays here versus the Dolphins. But at any rate, I did want to mention, because we've talked about the fact that, we're probably going to be stressing the run game more, the fact that the Packers, either in free agency, undrafted free agents, or whatnot, might have to pick up at least one more running back if we don't go with Capri Bibbs, Coleman, or Vital, if one of those guys doesn't sort of seem to cut the mustard for us. And I just wanted to mention, I keep going through these draft sims, and Damian Harris keeps popping up at the top of the list every time. Like in the second, which I don't want to draft a running back that high, but at any rate, we'll see how this run game is going to go, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And Damian Harris is just one name that has consistently popped up. So what I think I'm going to do with that is I'm going to create a matrix, and then I will give you guys a link to that matrix. And what I'm going to do is basically kind of a case study. I'm going to run a sim based on all the same parameters. Okay, so I'll do Walter football, and I'll do the user selected needs, and then I'll just run it, and record what we get. And I'm going to create kind of a matrix, a sort of target-shaped matrix of what guys might be out there according to that algorithm. Now that's going to change. We've got the East-West Shrine game today. In fact, it might be going on right now. But then what I'll do is I'll go to a different board, and I'll choose different needs, and then I'll run it, and we'll create another matrix, and we can look at where these overlap. And I think we might actually get, especially as we move through, we will see some changes. We'll probably see guys drop out after the combine as the boards start to re-rate these guys. Shrine game coming up. You got the Senior Bowl as well. Combine comes around. These things are really going to start to move right now, but I think they're going to move in a direction of greater accuracy. So where I've been a little bit reticent to do a bunch of these, I did one, a couple weeks ago, I think. I am going to start running them now, but more in bulk, and then trying to create a matrix. So anyway, all that to say, this is not what I planned to talk about. I really wanted to talk about a Dolphins play that I like, and basically try to highlight some of what I think is going to be interesting about what our offense will look like. Now, this is not stuff that we've never seen before. This is not stuff that did not exist in Mike McCarthy's system. But at any rate, what we've got here is first series. Again, this is the first week. I don't know, maybe this isn't the first week. This is the first series of the game, though. And it's early enough that the Titans still have Delaney Walker. They had tight end issues. They had all three of their tight ends healthy. And what you get from that is the first series basically was run left, and then you saw Delaney Walker get matched up against a linebacker, wide open. Even Marcus Mariota can hit him. We're going to upgrade to Aaron Rodgers in that scenario coming in 2019. And hopefully we're going to get these tight ends going. That play went for, 8 yards and a first down. Just a quick out, just an over-under, just a 2x3 over-under concept with the back squirting out into the flat. And that over-under concept with a mismatch on a tight end, it's a pretty easy reception. And this is where, when LeFleur talks about making things easy for the quarterback, and he has that experience, I think as long as Aaron Rodgers is on board with this, it's going to, A, extend his career, B, make him more successful than he was in McCarthy's system, and C, with the fact that we're going to run the ball more, I just think overall Aaron Rodgers should be very excited. Now, will his numbers be the same? They may not be as high-flying in numbers as we've seen in the past. But if it's true that he wants to win games and all he cares about is winning, then I think good things are coming. At any rate, so they got one first down. This is they just moved the chains. And what you see here is actually and I'm going to kind of click through it. Actually, let's back it up here. We'll bring it right back here. And so I'm going to bring it down. We've got early in the first quarter, 2nd down and 10 to go. The first play from scrimmage was in a left A gap that pretty much got chased down and stuffed. Okay, so no gain on that. And in this system, LeFleur is not going to panic to run no gain runs. We are going to run against a stacked box for purposes that will be seen in cases like this and in cases like Delaney Walker getting wide open on play action. We're not going to be afraid of these, and you hear commentators all the time saying, man, it's great when you have a back that can just get that 1 or 2 yards, that can just grind out that 1 or 2 yards. That's first down. Now, obviously, you want to gain something, but this is a team that is no longer going to be afraid. We're not going to just always be running and shooting on 1st and 2nd down and putting ourselves in 3rd and long. We're going to chip away at it. All right, so here's the situation. We'll go forward a little bit, and I will slow it down right here. Actually, I'll pause it right there. What you're going to see here is, you get a single set back. This is actually a 21 personnel. You've got both tight ends lined up here, and we'll switch to slow-mo here, and we're going to motion them all, okay? Now, look at this point where I want you to look, and I think I can bring up a marker here. Let's see if I can do that. Maybe it won't. It's not going to do that for me. Where I want you to look is right here. Watch what happens with the linebacker situation. You're going to see this motion happen, and then it's going to be like you want to see like little thought bubbles over the top of the linebackers because they're scrambling at this point. They're trying to communicate across the field, trying to get everyone situated, and what you see is, I think this is Jonnu Smith here. If that's 81 right there, lined up. Again, this is still 21 personnel. It's 2 tight ends. So you can throw to these guys, you can run, you can have them run block. There's a lot of options. This is putting a lot of pressure on the defense. And then you have your other tight end, which is Stocker, I believe. I think it's Stocker out front. At any rate, you can see where we did not use Lance Kendricks that much. We used Jimmy Graham quite a bit, but he's more of a perimeter receiver type guy. We use Lance Kendricks the most. And what we're doing here, this is not something that is not in Mike McCarthy's offense. We've seen him run this. It just went away this year. But we're going to use this because of the focus on the run. Now you've got really a quadruple threat here. You've got both tight ends, and you've got Mariota, and you've got the running back, Derrick Henry, involved. Now you're going perimeter. You've got perimeter receivers, so they're able to go single high and try to get this box, get 8 guys in the box, which is what they're able to do. And that's not the end of the motion in this play, all right? Let's move it forward a little bit. So this looks like, a very obvious run, possible, chip, guy squirting out into the flat, play action. If you've got Mariota, a guy with wheels, I'm interested in how they're gonna think about Aaron Rodgers in that regard. But then Mariota motions the perimeter receiver in as well. So very much looks like a run play here. Again, this is a team that's not going to be afraid to say, yes, we're getting ready to run. Come stop us. Let's roll it forward. So you've got a real heavy front side. And again, keep in mind the name Mercedes Lewis in this. We saw this, and we actually saw Mike McCarthy play action out of a very similar set without the wide receiver. And then they're going to run to the left. And what do they get out of this? Again, it's 2nd and 10, and they're picking up 4 or 5 yards and putting themselves in 3rd and manageable. But what I really want to highlight is all the pressure, and we'll see it again a little closer up, all the pressure, all the communication that has to take place on the defensive side of the ball, and then the fact that they run a little bit off the strength of the formation. And with a guy like Derrick Henry, we've got Jamal Williams in that situation. We also have Aaron Jones in that situation. That they're able to pick up that 4 or 5 yards. And really part of the beauty of this play is they're bringing all that sort of front side weight, and then they're running behind it, and basically where the defense is going to end up weaker because they've made all those adjustments. So as we roll it forward, it's going to switch for us here, and it's going to give us a little close-up from Mariota's angle, and we'll see it from his perspective. I'll take the slow off for just a minute. Now, one thing I want to pause quickly because this is a new system for us, and I'm not sure, how Mariota, a young quarterback. What I also saw in this that you may not see on this play, but I saw throughout reviewing the film of this game in general, The offense, the young guys on offense, there was a little bit of a communication, gap there at times. There's a little bit of confusion on the offense as well. First year in this system, we may see a little bit of that. I think the difference is that with Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback position, and we've got, all of our receivers are probably going to be at least second-year guys, unless we pick up a real stud wide receiver early in the draft or something. But there is the possibility of a little bit confusion and the detail work not quite being there right out of the gate, again, early in the year. All right, let's roll this forward. And again, 21 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 single set back. Look at the communication that has to take place here. Guys pointing, look at guys confused, don't know what set they're supposed to be in. They may not be in the right defensive set. They're trying to move out of it. And then Mariota is again also able to motion the wide receiver down into the box. And I really think they end up with 8 on 8 if you're including, basically you've got your quarterback who is pretty much out of it, matched against your safety. But Mariota in this case, he also could run. And I think they may do a little bit of a run-pass option look on this. Let's just take a look at Mariota as it rolls forward. So you got Derek, everybody going exactly where they think. They pull one of their tight ends through again, and they're able to pick up yardage. Not a perfectly executed play either, but Henry able to fall forward at the back end of this, picks up an extra couple of yards. So again, this is not, I just wanted to run over this quickly. My intention when I sat down to do this is I wanted to run through an entire series, but then the first series was kind of boring. And the second series, I really liked this play. I liked the way they used that 21 personnel and then basically make it into a 12 look out of it because they're using one of the tight ends as a fullback in there. And that shows me that moving forward, if we don't go out and pick up a fullback, we're going to be all right. LeFleur is going to be perfectly fine with that, because that's one of the questions I had, is are they going to want to do 21 personnel, or is he going to prefer, and I'm not saying he prefers one over the other necessarily, but what I am saying is he's going to be perfectly comfortable with either as it comes up. And then basically, one thing that I've been kind of highlighting, we've talked a lot about this outside zone scheme. And so I wanted, because of this, you saw these guys run inside. We're going to be able to do that. When I say outside zone scheme, I just mean it kind of leans toward that. And that's one of the ways that it tries to put pressure. And we saw Shanahan develop sort of that end, the run game in the West with the West Coast kind of concepts in the pass game. And in particular, using that outside zone. I do think outside zone is going to be in particularly important because we've got Aaron Jones as running back. I think he'll shine in that system. Again, you'll see a lot of reach blocks in the outside zone in particular. We've got to make sure that we've got our line in place and guys that are athletic out there and can get out, but I think they're going to have a lot of fun in that system. 4 or 5 yards, able to pick up in a scheme that, they basically went off the weight of the play, and LeFleur had a nice play in mind. So anyway, this is what we're going to see. Number one, if I say outside zone, I don't mean that's all we can run. LeFleur is going to have every possible option at his disposal. And on Wilde and Tausch, he was asked, Mark Tauscher asked him, what kind of play card do you have? Do you have an 8.5 by 11, or do you have one of those restaurant menus? And he said restaurant menu, no question. So he's going to have a lot of plays available to him. I'm interested in seeing how he uses Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers has a little bit more of a run pass option, we saw that at the tail end of this season. And then just that he's going to have everything available to him. But also the notion that we're going to be unafraid to just line up and run. It's a little more of, a football team just saying in the run game, kind of like we did in the pass game, listen, yeah, you know what we're going to do. We're still going to gain yards. So at any rate, a little bit interesting. I mostly wanted to highlight the defense and what they had to do in this in terms of the communication. And I guess I didn't go in as in-depth as I kind of wanted to, but wanted to get something out for you guys. Draft talk will be coming hard, but I did want to keep looking at LeFleur's system. I want to see the successes. Obviously, we know that overall this offense didn't perform very well, but I think that when you look at this and you see that when they're healthy, the way that they use the tight ends, it gives me some encouragement moving forward. We've got a couple really nice running backs to run this system. I think they're going to have a lot of fun at it. and we'll see how it goes, though. But all right, I guess I'll close it up at that. Just a short video, give you a little something to chew on before the East-West Shrine game gets started. It's almost 1 o'clock here, and I can't remember when it starts, but a little 15-minute for you, and I hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Pack.
Packer Nation worldwide.